Good morning. It's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself. And today, I hope you'll come along with me as we get ready for Easter this week. The kids have gone to school, and I'm just throwing in a load of laundry before I leave the house for my morning walk. This week, I will be switching the house over for spring and Easter. This is my favorite season when all the final winter things go away. The winter sheets, the cozy blankets, and we get out the beautiful spring decor. We start to see flowers and buds, and it really brightens up the mood and brightens up the house. I love this time of morning when the kids have gone to school, just taking a moment in the house to tidy everything up and get organized for the day. I always stick in a load of laundry after the kids leave for school and before I go on my walk. When I get home from my walk, it'll be ready to switch over to the dryer. I find this a super easy routine so that you don't get behind on the laundry and it's not stressful. And now, before I head out on my walk, I'm gonna grab a couple of the winter pillows that I've left out, the cozy pillows, and just throw them off the couch onto the ground here so that when I get back from my walk, it signals me to get going and to start my Easter turnover. I'm just gonna fold all of these beautiful plush winter blankets away that have kept me cozy all winter. It's time to put them away. I'm just going to put them in this basket for now. I will put them in my cabinet later on, but for now I'm just going to fold them away. I really love this time of day. The sky looks so blue. The sun is just coming up. It's quiet in the house and it's easy to get a lot done. I'm going to take the pillows off in my office as well. I'm going to take all of these pillows off and store them here. It's just nice to refresh things. And as I do this work, it's really nice to get my hands involved, to feel the textures, to feel the softness, to get all your senses involved, to remember to breathe and ground yourself and really presence yourself and be here in the moment. All tasks are really good as a meditative practice, actually, if you're continually breathing and staying in the moment through your 5 senses. It makes doing this kind of work fun and actually healing, and it can bring benefits to your health. It doesn't have to be overwhelming or stressful or too much work, especially when you go slow and you breathe and you enjoy what you're doing. Like this little dog here. She is pretty happy to be laying on the cozy blankets. I'm going to grab the rest of the pillows. This is a simple, easy task. Some of the faux sheepskins that I loved laying on benches over the winter season. It's time for them all to go away. And while I hate for my cozy things to go away, I love seeing them again in the fall. But so I don't ruin my routine, it's time to put on a jacket, hook the dogs up, and get out in the fresh air for my morning walk. These little guys love going for a morning walk, and I love going with them. I just had to pop and grab something. Check these dogs out, just waiting for me so patiently and eagerly. We're on our way. I love walking on this street in the morning, seeing the waves, the little bit of snow left, going through some peaceful trails and the greenery, breathing, walking. I use this time to either meditate or ground myself with surroundings, or I love to listen to podcasts and books and learn, and anything inspirational is amazing for morning walks. So after a nice long morning walk on the beach with my dogs, just taking in the day, it's time to head back home and start my spring Easter turnover. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull out some of my Easter baskets and my Easter things, pull out some of the things for my porch, just getting everything ready. I love the way the handles on these wash buckets just sit on top of the urn, so it's a great spot. Look at my dog. What are you doing, Mommy? She knows she's not allowed out here because of the busy roads, and I don't want her to get hit by a car. Just getting the front porch organized to get ready today as well. But before I can really jump into the day, I need to do my weekly grocery shopping so that it's done and out of the way. So I grabbed my collagen tea, start the car, and head to the grocery store. I like to do my grocery shopping once a week, and if I need any extras, then I can pop to the store and just pick up 1 or 2 things before the next week. I do all my shopping every quarter at a local farm for my meat, but I do my produce and everything else from the grocery store once a week. In the summer, I like to go to farm stores and farm markets, but we just don't have that luxury here in the winter. Unloading the car always seems to be the worst part, back and forth and back and forth. But again, it's good exercise to just bring everything in. I make it to the foyer, and then I'll stop and bring it into the kitchen from here. So I usually go to my health food store as well as my grocery store, and then again I go to my farm every 3 months to stock up on my meat. Sometimes I will hit the markets and the farmers' stands, but usually not this time of year. They're not quite open yet, and I love to do that a few times a week to get the most fresh things for my family. Right now, I'm actually eating a mostly animal-based carnivore-style diet, but my family, my husband is actually on a keto diet, and my children are just on a whole healthy food diet. So between all of us and all the different requirements that we have right now, I like to make sure that we have something in the house for everyone, as well as my father, who eats with us a few nights a week. I picked up these wonderful tulips and some spring flowers, some hyacinths, which don't last long, but are my absolute favorite smelling flower of all time. So I love to just start by getting a few potted plants, which I got at the grocery store, 4 of them for my windowsill, and this will be my base to starting my spring and Easter decor, which I will add to later today. So I just love the smell when these hyacinths bloom. I also like to pick up an organic herb every week. So today I picked up basil, and I'll just be adding that to the countertop. And now I can start my grocery put away. Before I do that at the end of the week, the fridge is always a mess, and I need to start by getting rid of anything that is old or leftovers that we're not going to use, and then spraying and wiping down the counters and reorganizing it a little bit before I put in my weekly grocery shop. I find that by quickly cleaning the fridge every week, it just gets rid of any of those spills and crumbs that can tend to add up fairly quickly. So by doing a quick clean every week, I don't always need to take the drawers out, but sometimes I do need to take the bottom ones out, particularly if we have onions or some messy vegetation that has really gotten crumbs on the bottom. You can see I'm going to be dumping out these onion peels as my husband put them in there without the paper bag that I usually recommend so that all the mess stays contained. But again, life gets messy. So just taking your time when you clean, remembering to be in the moment, to use your 5 senses, to enjoy what you're doing, to put on some music or an uplifting podcast and enjoy your day. It doesn't have to be rushed. It doesn't have to be too much work. I use my top drawer here for all my fruits, and I find this an easy access drawer for kids' breakfasts and snacks and lunches. I tend to take everything out of packages if I can. These are some organic bell peppers, and put them right in the drawer so it's easy to access. Again, I take my avocados out of the bags and dump them into the drawers. I take my oranges out of the bag and dump them into the drawer. So I like everything handy here that's a fruit and easy to get in this one drawer. And it makes it so much neater when you take everything out of these bags. These organic kiwis come in a package. I hate all the packaging that the grocery stores use, but I take them out as soon as I get home. It's easier, and you can see this drawer is convenient and easy to grab. I will use all that fruit for the kids' breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks throughout the week and when they have friends over. Organic lettuce. My husband is big on the organic salads right now, on his keto diet, and I like to take off the wrappers of these organic cucumbers. It just takes a little bit of extra time when you're unloading your groceries, but it makes such a difference when you go to grab it and the packaging is off. Here's an organic cabbage, which I'll shred up for a cabbage roll casserole or cabbage coleslaw salad, some organic carrots. Between my bottom shelf and my bottom drawer, I put all the vegetables. I like to transfer my onions into a brown paper bag and put them in my bottom drawer. This keeps all the peels inside, and sometimes my husband or my children will accidentally put the onions in, not in a bag, but I like to rectify it and take it out of these little stringy bags you get them in and set them in a paper bag. It just works out so much nicer. So then I usually put bananas and other fruits on my countertop. And I'm going to, here's some pork rinds and something I bought to make some more Easter candy for the kids. Some kind granola bars, which my kids take to lunch. They don't get very many grains at all, but a treat of a granola bar a few times a week is one thing that they still are allowed to have. So they do enjoy that. The bread that I get my children is from the frozen section, and it's sprouted and organic bread and buns, and they use that. They don't have a lot of sandwiches or bread, but they really enjoy the bread to dip into their eggs. Now this week I did buy some meat at the grocery store because they had some wonderful grass-fed bison steak on, and I am in transition. I've been with my farmer for 15 years, and she has just sold her farm. And I'm not putting in a new order to my new farmer for another 3 weeks. So in this transitionary period, I bought some grass-fed lamb, some grass-fed ground beef and ground lamb, and this will transition and tide me over until I get out to the farm to meet my new farmer and put in a new order. I'm so sad to see my farmer go. Here's some feta. When you buy feta, I like to make sure that it's organic and it actually comes from Greece, not just a Greek style feta. I got some wild cod and some wild caught shrimp, and that'll be great. I also get the organic yogurt for my kids to eat for breakfast and snacks. And what else do I have here? Oh, my kids love these no sugar added sparkling water fruit juices, as well as organic milk. We have some organic wild smoked salmon, and we have vegetables. So just stocking up the fridge, stocking it up for the week is great. Putting some of these juice boxes, they're organic, and my kids don't get many of them, but when their friends come over on the weekends and after school, I like to have an option for everyone. My pantry, putting everything away. I have all the jars with anything that we might use for baking, nuts, seeds. And I'm gonna steal myself a pork rind. The carnivore diet that I'm on right now is limiting, and I probably won't do it as we head into summer, but for now it's working well, and these pork rinds are a delicious treat. So now that my groceries are away, I'm gonna start by getting out a couple of my Easter big baskets and use these baskets as Easter gift packages for my children. So today I'm gonna put some of that together. My dogs love to share pork rinds with me. And I'm gonna just start with some toothpaste, one in each pack for the kids. You cannot have chocolate and candy at Easter without some organic, non-fluoridated toothpaste. So I love filling out their baskets no matter how old they get. They have some pure gum and some zero carb gummies. I got those from my health food store. And then for my son, he has some shampoo and some cream and some gel that is really good brand. Oh, I bought this for my mother-in-law. I might keep it. I love it so much, but it's these little garden tools and they have lavender all over them. They are so sweet. And I also got these for the kids. They are the stevia sweetened chocolate with no sugar. I got some mango for the kids, dried mango, organic. They love that. I also got some chocolate covered almonds, so that will be a nice treat for them, as well as these little lint bunnies that they love. And I'm going to keep those aside and put them on the top of their package. I got some nose strips for my son for acne. I got a lip scrub for my daughter, Burt's Bees. And just going through the pack of all these little things. She is really into skincare. So I like certain brands, and this Cocoa Kind and Burt's Bees. We have some different brands that I allow her to use. So that'll go in her basket. They each have a little chocolate bar, and my son has some wired earphones and earbuds. Now, I bought my son a nice pair of pants that he can wear. He doesn't have many, and he's outgrown his, for dressing up for any special occasion, as well as a nice golf shirt that will go with it. So this will be great for Easter. They grow so fast that this time of year I need to buy them new spring clothes anyways. So I love using things like events, and Easter is a great time to just bulk up their closets and get them some new spring clothes. So new t-shirt for my son, as well as a new sweatshirt for my daughter. Put this in her basket. I usually try to get them new clothes at Christmas, Easter, maybe the last day of school, and I combine them with special events and make little baskets for them. Again, another sweatshirt for my son. Some shorts, some sports shorts for him. His football season will be starting up this week, and he will go through a lot of sports shorts this summer. Well, that's all I have. I need a few more things for my daughter. I'm gonna move the baskets. So I can sit on the floor here and get the things I've hidden in this closet out. So a little bit of, oh, here's a makeup case for her room that she wanted. It's just like a little holder and organizer. And now she has some tank tops that will be going in. I ordered hers online, so they just came in these little packages that I need to open up here and put in her basket. Soft little tank tops for the summer, as well as some easy shorts that she can wear coming up. It's hard to believe that it's going to be summer before we know it. I can't wait for the warm, easy days and the sun drenched all over my skin. I absolutely love this time of year. My son wanted a new badminton racket for school. He was on the badminton team. And between the clothes and the little things that they get for Easter, I try to make it fair. It's not always perfect, but we do our best to even out the packages and do what we can to fill them up. Just gonna add some tissue paper here to the top of their baskets so they don't see inside. When I bring these out Easter morning, they'll be covered up, so it's like a bit of a surprise, which is nice. So I'm just gonna wrap both of theirs. I just lay some spring colored tissue paper on top of the baskets, a couple different colors, and this just hides it and makes it a little bit more festive. I know no matter how old my kids get, I still love to treat them to an Easter egg hunt and an Easter basket surprise on Easter morning. And even though my son is now in high school, he of course would never let his friends know this, but he looks forward to running around the house and collecting Easter eggs. Who wouldn't? Especially because they rarely get chocolate. They get some of my homemade treats, but at Easter I actually buy the real eggs and I let them eat the real chocolate as well, because a few times a year isn't gonna kill them, and they look forward to that every year. I like to take an assortment of different kinds of eggs and put them in these plastic shells. They're easy to hide and it keeps them contained so that you don't get dirty. So this is a great way for those mini eggs to be hidden around the house. So I have these shells and I use them year after year, and I just fill the bag and fill them up and use a variety of different ones, and they absolutely love it. And I hide these before they get up on Easter morning. Sometimes it does feel like a lot of work to get everything organized, but if it does, I always stop, breathe, do a little bit of meditation, or do something for myself before I continue back on. So I feel like that was a lot of work, so now I'm just gonna stop and finish my little treat and my little snack, take a rest, do something enjoyable for myself before I carry on doing any more. And I think that's the key to healing and homemaking, is you have to do a little bit for everyone, but also a little bit for yourself. And when you feel ready, moving on to the next task, you feel lighter and you feel grounded and you feel happy, and it doesn't feel like a lot of work. So now I've gotten all my spring pillows out, and I'm going to start by setting those up in place of the winter pillows. I have some neutral cream colored pillows and then some turquoise and bluey green pillows which really goes with a spring and Easter vibe. I have just some soft colors and some beautiful greens and yellows and turquoise, and I just love this for this time of year. Getting everything out, I'm going to take some of these pillows into the other room, and I will set them up on the couch in the office. We call it an office, but we also call it a sunroom. So anyways, I'm going to get out some spring blankets, replace some of those winter throws with a few more summery and springy throws. I will keep some cozy ones in a basket in case anyone still feels like they want to be cozy for a while longer. But it's nice to see the majority of them gone now as we head into spring and Easter. The place is starting to look a lot more like spring. It's funny with what just some throw pillows and throw blankets can make such a huge difference. It's actually such a beautiful day. I'm gonna open the door and get some fresh air in. And now I'm gonna start with my Easter decor. This broke. I cannot believe that the little bunny's ear fell off. I love this piece, but I will just use some crazy glue and glue it back on. It won't be an issue. When I'm unwrapping my Easter things, I like to just set them on my table or my counter and get them out of the bins to start with. Once everything's out and I can see where it is, then I like to go ahead and put things in different spots. But first I like to just get everything out so I can see everything all at once. So this is what I like to do, just starting by seeing what I have. It's funny how you forget. You forget where you put it and where it looks good. So I like to be creative and switch it up every year, just making it look however I please. Once everything's out on the counter, it's so much easier to see and remember what you have. And I just throw all back in my paper towel and everything that I'll wrap the same things back up with when I'm finished Easter season. Some of this is also summer and it will stay out for the entirety of the summer season. But if it's an Easter bunny specific, then those things will go away after Easter. And the rest can stay out for the majority of the summer. Look at all the stuff. And that ear glued on so perfectly, you cannot even tell unless you get up very, very closely. So I'm just going to start one at a time. Put on a favorite podcast or some music, brew myself a tea, or have a sparkling water, whatever I feel is going to make me feel festive today. Get some nice warm breeze going through the house and enjoy myself. It's really important to enjoy yourself when you're doing this work. That looks cute. And now I'm going to start with the ledge behind my kitchen sink. We already have the flowers there, so I'm going to add a few more Easter decor, and it will just look great. Sticking some of those Easter eggs in the plants and putting some bunnies along the edge. I love decorating for each season. It makes me feel warm and happy and nostalgic for my childhood, the way my mom used to make it feel. She used to do all these special little things. She was the queen of decorating for different events. And the memories of it that I have stayed with me for a lifetime. So I like to do this for my children too. Sometimes it can feel like a thankless job to do all these things, and does anybody care? Does anybody notice? But I fondly remember my childhood And it makes me remember my mom every time I put out these decorations, most of which were actually hers. So it makes me feel so happy to do this. And I know that my kids probably feel the same warmth when they come into the house, especially for the first time and see all the Easter decor out. It helps them get excited for these special events. And I hope it brings warmth to their heart the way it brings warmth to mine. You know, when we're healing and when we may have illness, we're at home, often lost or caught up in our own chronic illness. And it's nice to have other things to focus on. Something that brings you pleasure, joy. It feels simple. It's aesthetically pleasing. And it brings a peace to my heart and to the home to do these things. And so I encourage you to decorate your home, to clean your home, to declutter your home, to make it feel like a peaceful sanctuary, a place when you look around, it's calming to you. It feels good. These are the kinds of environments that help to create healing, that really help us to heal. When we look around and feel peace in our heart, it often helps us to get into parasympathetic mode. It helps us to get out of fight or flight. It helps us to think of warm memories of days gone by, or creating warm memories for your family now. It's a beautiful thing that you can do. It helps you take your mind off your symptoms and other things and struggles that you may be faced with, and immerse yourself with your 5 senses right here in the moment. It lifts your spirits and it gives you a sense of accomplishment when you stand back and see what you've created. It's a source of creativity, a source of inspiration, and a source of love. It makes me feel grateful and thankful and focus on peace and family and joy. Moving on into the kitchen, I'm going to start with some of these wooden tulips as well as some Easter eggs. I like to put paper towels in the bottom of my vases to help things pop up and stick out. Stick a little Easter bunny up there. I really like to just kind of tidy it up when I'm up there, give it a quick wipe, and now I'm going to move out to my porch. I have a few of these decorations that I'm going to start with. An Easter sign, some of these old nostalgic things that I love. And if you notice around the house, all the little surfaces have some eggs and bunnies, and now's a great time to switch over my laundry to get another load through. I probably won't have time to fold anything until tomorrow, and that's just fine. I have other things on my agenda today, and so just getting it through the wash today, getting all of these old winter blankets and sheets through is enough for one day. You don't need to push yourself beyond what you're comfortable with, and I know after I'm done decorating today, I'll not feel like folding, and that's okay. I've done this over a series of 3 to 4 to 5 days. My daughter's now home from school. It's the afternoon, and I am just putting some of these winter blankets and pillowcases away that we collected this morning. She's given me a quick hand in the back hall here. And it's great to have a little helper. Sometimes if you're on a ladder or a footstool, I can stay up there and she can hand me things, which is really helpful. So it's about 3:30 in the afternoon now, and I really do enjoy this time of day when my kids get home from school. I get to sit with them and find out how their day was and make them an after-school snack. Today we're slightly out of our routine because I'm still mid-decorating, and so she has decided to help her mom instead of me make her a snack today, which is really great. So now, just going to put these last few things away and shove all the fall pillows and winter pillows away. And I do not have to deal with these for the entirety of the summer until fall and winter. And it's great just to have a spot to put everything. Just a quick vacuum and a quick refresh of the hall. I find I vacuum this mudroom every day, sometimes several times a day, sometimes every couple of days, but it's a high traffic area, which I love. All the boots come in and out of here, so it does need a little more cleaning than the rest of the house, especially when the kids come home from school. And I had all these things laying on the floor today. So I'm just going to do a quick refresh. I actually enjoy vacuuming. I love the Dyson vacuum cleaner, how it charges and gets everything in the cylinder and just stores away in my closet as it charges. And all the winter pillows are tucked neatly away for the season. So, just going to start prepping dinner. And it is the most beautiful night. And my daughter said, "Why don't we have a barbecue?" And I think she's right. In fact, I might even change into shorts and a t-shirt. It is so warm today. It's one of these amazing days where you just know spring is on its way. So I'm going to, normally I power wash everything before the season starts, but just so that we can use it tonight, I'm going to give everything a wipe down. And that'll be good enough for today until we power wash all of the furniture and our deck for the season. So just wiping everything down and making sure it's ready to use tonight. My husband can grill when he gets home from work. And I'm just going to set everything up out on the table. My kids love a barbecue. So again, I have our grass-fed burgers from my farm and just doing a board of condiments. Again, we use the sprouted buns, organic buns for my children because they do enjoy those. And I am going to bring some placemats outside and set everything up. It is just an amazing sunny evening, and it is a perfect day for our first barbecue of the season. So once we get everything ready, it's not even too windy. This is just going to be the perfect surprise for everybody when my son gets home from school and my husband gets home. He has sports practice, badminton practice after school. So they'll be getting home just at 5 in time to barbecue and have a wonderful night together. My daughter asked for some chips and salsa, so I used the organic ones for the kids, which they absolutely love. And this will be a wonderful treat for them for the first barbecue of the year. Oh my gosh, this is reminding me of summer, and I love it. I cannot wait for summer this year. I went and changed into a tank top. I am going to enjoy all the sun that I can get. We are ready. Just going to put some of the meat on the barbecue. I love that it's grass-fed and I don't have to worry about anything. My husband is home, grilling. My kids out on the deck with music. The lake is sparkling. It is one of those amazing family nights. And no matter what's going on, I can feel grateful and gratitude and love in my heart for my family and this beautiful day. And so we enjoyed it to the fullest as the sun sets and we start a new day tomorrow. Another day. The kids have gone to school. I've already gone on my walk, and now I'm pouring myself a collagen tea so I can start the day. I love to have an easy start to the day, and with my walk behind me and my morning duties already behind me, now I can have a few minutes to myself using some vanilla collagen and also some plain collagen. Sometimes I'll add bone broth and gelatin as well. And this is a wonderful morning drink that I've really been enjoying. Take my time. The dogs had a wonderful morning on their walk. I love just getting a chance to cuddle and pet them. It's such a healing thing to do. So if you have animals, remember to interact with them all day long. They have immense healing powers. It's beneficial for you, but they also love it too. They're like little babies. They need to be loved. Time to start my laundry. I had a ton of laundry build up over the last couple of days, washing all the winter sheets and all the winter blankets and a few personal loads. And now I've got about 5 or 6 loads to fold in a day. The reason why I usually do 1 load of laundry a day is because I hate to get into a situation like this. But when you're doing other things during the day, I was focusing on the Easter decor. Sometimes these things just pile up, and that's okay. So I'm going to get started by folding a little bit of this basket before I go ahead and have some lunch. It's already nearly 11:30 in the morning. So rather than have breakfast today, I'm just going to go straight to an early lunch. Using some grass-fed tallow and a nice hot pan, I'm going to add in some ground lamb that I have left over from yesterday. Sometimes you can do this with ground beef or ground lamb. You can either make it into a ground meal, and you can use a fork or a spoon to scoop it up, or you can leave it just how it is, in the shape it is, and turn it into a patty. Or just flipping it over and letting it cook a few times on each side. Just gives a little bit of variety to the ground beef. Going to season this with some Redmond real salt. And let it cook on both sides. This is a nice part of the day. Make sure that you're always getting a nutrient-dense meal, no matter what diet you're on. I'm adding oysters to the side of my plate for some extra nutrients. This is a great nutrient-dense meal. I also like to sit and take my time, breathing slowly, listening to a podcast, rewarding myself by checking my email, or doing something that I enjoy. Sitting outside when the weather's warm, just breathing and being conscious of your meal, reading a book or a magazine, or whatever thing that you enjoy. Once you feel rested and nourished and rejuvenated, it's time to get back to your to-do list. In my case, I'm going to be folding this laundry, sitting on my window bench in the sun listening to some of my favorite books while I fold. This is a time where you can listen and work at the same time. It's a time where you can really just be with yourself, do something methodical, feel good about getting the work done, but also enjoy yourself. Go slow, be in the moment, use your 5 senses, and really uplift your spirits by doing something you enjoy. I'm listening to a book right now, but I could choose a podcast, or I could choose a YouTube video, or anything that I like. Put on some favorite music. It really doesn't matter what you do, as long as you're listening to something interesting or uplifting, something that raises your spirits, something that distracts you and gets your vibration a little bit higher. These are all good choices. Just enjoy yourself. This is time not just to work, but it's time for you. And when you can look at your housework this way, it becomes enjoyable. It becomes something that you can look forward to instead of dread. Now, I don't like folding 5 or 6 loads of laundry in one day as much as the next person, but I prepared for it by giving myself this space, this alone time, and a space to fold it in, and something really enjoyable to listen to. I love that we're finally getting sunshine and the sky is blue. We usually get very gray winters where I am, cold, bitter, but a very big lack of sun. And so when the sun starts to return in the springtime, it's so wonderful just to sit near the window and see the blue sky. It's one of my favorite things to see the sky blue after such a long winter of gray. Spring is one of my favorite times of year, and the birds are already in full song, chirping away, some already building nests outside on our eaves troughs and other spots and wreaths around our house. It's nice to hear the chirping and the full-throated song every day when I go out for a walk now. It really lets you know that spring is nearly here. Soon the flowers will be popping up, and I've noticed that the buds are already starting. My peach tree has buds all over it, which is very early for this time of year, and I hope we don't get another cold blast that threaten the fruit for summertime. I will just fold for a while, knowing that I don't have to get everything done. There are other things that I have on my list to do today to finish the Easter decorating, and so if the laundry takes a few days to catch up at this point, then that's what has to happen, and that's okay. So just to do it at the speed that you can, the speed you're enjoying. If it becomes too much strain, if it becomes too much work, then abandon it for a while. Go do another activity and come back to it only when you're ready, only when you need to sit down a while and use it as a time to listen to something that you truly enjoy. My dogs often come up as I'm folding. They love sitting on this window bench themselves. They love sitting in the full sun. They love watching people walk by, and they especially love to drive me crazy by barking at every dog that they do see. But they're amazing company, and I love having them around. Don't forget to stop and play with them and pet them and interact with them often. It gives you a little pick-me-up as much as it gives them a little pick-me-up. It's a wonderful bonding experience. And I just love having them around. It's one of my favorite things, is to know that they're there with all this unconditional love. They are easy to love because they don't talk back, there's no pressure, and there's no tension. And it's a wonderful relationship that's super fulfilling without adding any strain or stress to your life. So I highly recommend having a pet or an animal in your home for all the healing benefits that they bring. Not only do they bring joy and warmth and cuddles and unconditional love, but they are a reason to get outside, take them for walks, enjoy the sunshine, and meet new people along your route every day. I think I'm just going to fold a little more, and then I'm going to move on to another activity and fold the rest maybe later this evening or tomorrow morning. And so I will just gather up everything that I have folded so that this can easily be put away, so that the house feels reset for the next time I come to finish up the laundry. I usually take each laundry basket to the various rooms, whether it's my husband's, myself, or my children, and everybody has a hand in putting the laundry away to make it easier. With the laundry behind me, I'm going to work on my tablescape, which is the most fun part of decorating for a new season. Starting by taking off the old. I will be taking away the table runner and the placemats and giving the table a really good clean. This actually doesn't need to be washed, surprisingly, but if it did, today is the day that I would wash it. I like to give these placemats a nice wash up as well, and basically take everything off the table to start fresh. This was my grandma's dining room table. It was an old style dining room table. The leaves are sort of broken and falling apart, and I'd love to get a new dining room table, but this reminds me of her. I painted it several times over the years, and it is now painted white with a gray top and the turquoise chairs. This table reminds me of my grandma, and so even though I've always wanted to get a new dining room table, I love the fresh feeling of the turquoise chairs and also that it reminds me of her. So now I'm going to change table runners to a spring summery table runner. This is a beautiful runner that has hydrangeas on it, and I just love it. Hydrangeas, blue hydrangeas were my mom's favorite flower, and so it reminds me of me and my mom, and I had them at my wedding, and I absolutely love it. I'm gonna add this spring decor with some Easter eggs, robin eggs, and some lavender. It looks beautiful for spring. I'm gonna be adding some more Easter decor to the table, putting some little Easter eggs around, making the table look a little brighter and more festive for the occasion. These I just got at the dollar store. You can just get little Easter eggs anywhere, and they're really great for just adding to the decor and giving it that Easter feel. And so now I'm going to be adding some placemats to the table, some springy, summery woven placemats. I love this. This looks springy, kind of reminds me of flowers. And I just love the way this is coming out. It's really changing the table from a wintry vibe to a nice spring vibe. So there you go. With the flowers and the Easter eggs and the placemats and the runner, the table looks ready for spring and it looks ready for Easter. It makes me feel good to do these common places in the house. I added some fake blue hydrangeas, some more placemats over here, gives it a nice spring look, some orchids. I love all the spring decor, the bunnies, the pops of blue and the robin's eggs. And I'd say this has about the right vibe that I'm going for. I love these pops of blue. I've put out a special treat for my dad who's coming over for dinner tonight, and my children who love lemon meringue pie. And the kitchen looks so good and ready for spring and Easter. Just gonna cook myself up a steak, making sure that I grill some for everyone, adding some shrimp, and this is a delicious meal that everyone can enjoy. Adding a salad for the rest of them and the lemon meringue pie for dessert. It was a beautiful evening. And the next morning, after my walk and after the kids have gone to school, I'm going to be finishing up the Easter decor. I've gotten out all my fake flowers. These are blue hydrangeas that I absolutely love. And I'm just going to be making some arrangements to put around the house and also focusing on my porch today and getting the main part of the house done. These lavender plants are really great. We have a lot of lavender in the summer outside, and I absolutely love it. So I love seeing it come out for spring. This is such a cute decor piece. I'm going to be making 2 of them up, and I'm going to put one here as well at the front door. This looks adorable when you come in the entryway. I'm adding an umbrella and a straw hat to finish off the look, and this looks great at the front entrance. I'm going to be getting out some pails and some old styrofoam that I found at the dump recycling place. I wish the styrofoam was thicker, but this piece was all I could find today, so I'll have to make it work. Cutting it into the shape of smaller containers, this helps fill out plants, and then when you put them in the larger containers, they all hold together nicely. So I'm just going to be doing some crafts here by cutting this styrofoam. It's a little thin, but I'm sure it will work out, and popping it into my pails. I have 3 pails that I want to get done this way. So I'm just going to be adding them, cutting them until they fit, and securing them in place. I'll do that with all 3 of the pots that I have. And this is great because you can just stick the leaves right through the styrofoam to fill it out and to hold it up nice and bushy in place. So I usually start by just counting the various leaves that I have and sorting them out into different piles so I know what I'm using where. This is an assortment of fern leaves and an assortment of lavender leaves. I like to mix them. I know ferns and lavender are 2 separate plants, but I actually like what it looks like mixed together to fill out these pots. But I'm just going to be separating right now and making various piles so that each pot has the same number of stems. So this little pot here is great. I'm going to be adding the ferns first and then going back and adding in pops of purple lavender color. It makes it look really pretty, and there you have it. These two pots I'm going to be putting in my steel pots out front, which are also then housed in big urns. So rather than try to fill up some urns, I get a smaller pot inside and then an even smaller pot inside of those. And that really fills things out. So again, I'm going to go around and start with the ferns, remembering to enjoy yourself, to presence yourself in the moment, to be here and enjoy yourself, to immerse yourself in your 5 senses, to stop and breathe, to enjoy what it is that you're doing and what it is that you're creating. I love creating things because it distracts you from anything else that may be going on. It's a wonderful use of time, and then you can enjoy the benefits of seeing your creation. And in this case, for the whole season, it will make me smile every time I see these pots. So I'm going to finish off my last one here, starting with the ferns. And again, just sticking them through. This is a little flimsy, I have to admit, this styrofoam. And if I didn't want to get this done today, I would probably go find a thicker piece somewhere. But it's actually working out fairly well for how thin it is. So again, just going around with the greenery of the fern, trying to spread it out and give it a fullness before I'm going to come back around with the pops of lavender color, which are really going to fill out this planter and give it a beautiful color and vibe to it. Just enough to make it feel really springy, and it's going to look perfect on the porch. So again, I have my 2 main urns that I'm doing, and then a few on my side porch. And all in all, it's fun making these. I enjoy it. And it makes the time in the afternoon go by quickly. I know my children will be getting home, in a few hours, and I'll have the day and the afternoon to spend with them. Maybe go for another walk, enjoy the sunshine that we're having. I love making them an after-school snack and just talking about their day. Filling these stems out, the pops of purple, it just makes it look so beautiful. I absolutely love it. So as I'm finishing up with these planters, I'm just listening to my favorite podcast. I'm enjoying it. And it's just a really fun time where I get to listen and create and have fun and be here now and breathe and create. And these are the activities that help us heal if we're not putting strain and stress on our bodies, if we're doing them from a loving place, if we're doing them with love in our hearts. Now I'm going to bring these out and set them outside and see how they look. Starting with my main planters on my double front doors, inside a steel pot, and then inside that is a smaller white pot. And we're going to do the same thing over here, which looks great. It's the perfect spring Easter accessory for my porch. I'm gonna go ahead now and add some things to it just to make it a little more Eastery. I've put some over on this side. I'm gonna add in a few of my birdhouses, put a chair out, and now I'm gonna add pussy willows. I cut down these pussy willows when I was on one of my walks, and I brought home about as much as I could carry. And I'm gonna add them to the backs of this arrangement, just in between pots, where they'll hold up nice and tall and give it some height. Pussy willows look so pretty for Easter. I love to see them come up in the wild, and I love what they look like in plant arrangements around the house and outside in these planters. It's just going to give it the perfect Easter vibe, and it's going to really give it that fullness. So I'm going to finish up with these pussy willows here and then add some to my other mudroom door. And these are going to be absolutely perfect. I love already what they look like. I just go back and forth to make sure that each side has about the same number and they're placed in about the same position. And I just went and cut some fishing wire from my husband's fishing tackle box. And I'm going to be using this wire to hang a few wreaths. I like to hang them on the front of the urns. I think it gives a nice look to it rather than the front door. I do like them on the door, but these back sides don't have a full wreath on the back. They are a half wreath, so I don't look like what they look like from the opposite side. So this is a perfect spot to tie them up. I'm just tying them to the handles of the other pot and then letting them hang down to the perfect length. This is a lavender wreath, and they're very cute. They're half wreaths, and they look perfect together on the front of these urns, really giving this a spring and Easter vibe. I love that the pop of purple and lavender goes with the lavender in the greenery on top, and then the pussy willows give it the height. I think this looks like a perfect front urn for Easter. I am going to put out a mat to give this a nice farmhouse feel vibe for spring. These are washable, easy washable mats that look great. And then I'm going to be putting some of my corn husk mats on top of them. So there you have it, the pussy willows, the mat, and the lavender wreath. And they all look great together. So now we're going to go to the other side. I brought out this cushion, which I'm not going to use. I'm going to be using some springy cushions. I use these ones in the summer, but they're a nice blue turquoise color. They match the front door, and they're very Eastery looking. So I'm going to start by just putting these pussy willows in and giving the planters a little bit more height. That's just perfect. And then I'm going to be tying the seat cushions onto this old wicker chair that used to be my mom's, and I love it. I hang on to it because I think it looks perfect on the front porch here. And with these seat cushions, this really gives it a nice spring vibe. I really like what this looks like. And in the fall, you can switch the seat cover cushions to something more fall, yellowy orange tones, and give it a nice fall vibe. But for now, this is going to be the perfect seat covers for spring and summer. It is really starting to come together out here. I just need a few more finishing touches, like the welcome mat with the lavender on it, a nice spring wreath on this door, and that's going to pull this whole thing together. I'm going to go back to my front porch and add again some nice lavender front mats right to the front door. These are the ones that people can really wipe their feet on if they need to. And these are going to tie the whole thing together with the lavender wreaths, the lavender mats, and everything that we have going on here. And this looks fantastic. I love it. It really has made the whole place look so springy. And now not only are we ready for spring, but we are ready for Easter. It's time to sit back, have a little snack, and enjoy the fruits of my labor. Looking around the house, it makes me feel so good, so spring-like. The hyacinths have now come out in full bloom. It smells beautiful. The birds are chirping. The sky is blue. And sometimes, even though we have long, dark, cold winters, the spring always comes out. My daughter just got home from school, and I am just finishing up one last activity, making a few homemade Easter candies for the kids. These are called caramel cream eggs, where I just use a little bit of monk fruit sweetener, some butter, some dates, and I blend them up together for the caramel insides. I freeze them, which I did yesterday, and then I add the chocolate around them to the shells for a nice homemade, whole food Easter candy that the kids can enjoy. And they can enjoy these over the next couple of weeks before their Easter baskets come on Easter morning. So this is just a nice thing that I like to do for each season, is make some special treats that the kids can enjoy, and I can feel good about letting them have a treat after dinner each night or something like that to get them excited about the upcoming Easter season. It's a wonderful thing. And my daughter was going to help me make these, but she is working on a school project today, sitting on side of the other part of the counter. My husband's home from work. Everyone's just milling about. I'm a little behind schedule because normally I'm already starting to cook dinner at this time, but it's such a nice afternoon. My kids are doing homework. My husband's wandering about doing his work, and I'm just gonna finish these up because they really don't take long. So it's just an easy thing to do. Just coat the liner, and then you pop in the frozen filling, and then you cover the backside. Then you would pop them in the freezer for another 10 minutes while they harden, and that's it. Then it's time for them to enjoy. And that's it. It's time to just tidy up. The tidy up is fairly quick with this. There's just a bowl to wash. There's this coconut oil to put away, wiping the counters, sticking the molds back in the freezer, and we're done. 10 minutes later, I'm able to take the molds out and put them away. They turned out great. They have already been tried and tested, and they are kid approved. All ready for spring. Except the next morning, I woke up to this. And it's funny, isn't it? Just like when you think things are going well in your life, or maybe your symptoms are easing and you're feeling really wonderful, sometimes the storms come. Sometimes the setbacks happen. Sometimes you get snow in the middle of spring. But spring will always come. Hang in there, because the sun will shine again. And so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Happy spring, everyone.